Quiet on the set. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. I'm DearMYRTLE, your friend in genealogy. Welcome to Mondays with Myrt. No, let's backtrack. Welcome to Substack Explained for followers today. Now, on Monday, when Daniel and I got together, we were looking at Substack from a producer or content curator's point of view, like a blogger or a podcaster or a video blogger like old Myrt here. But today we're going to look at it from the follower's point of view, the people that read your blog posts, the people that listen to podcasts, the people that watch your videos, your YouTube channels. And it's all about how to make things work for genealogists who want an alternative to another platform that has provided us with some challenges. Okay, Daniel is in the building. He will come up on the panel shortly. Let me do this. Let me use the same scary picture. This is called Chiller, that graph or that font. Substack, it's really not chilling or frightening to join Substack. It looks kind of techy. It's just different. You know, when I started out with Facebook, for instance, that other platform, I didn't know what I was doing. I remember having to ask Bruce Busby. I called him on the phone, Roots Magic guy, developer, and I said, could you please sign up for Facebook so I can interact with a friend and see how it works? So today we are going to answer what is Substack and do I need to join from the follower's point of view. Let's see who's out there. We've got Bobby. Hi, Bobby. And Hillary came. Oh, she's one of my Mondays with Myrt panelists. I sure appreciate you. And Hillary is using Substack. I'm learning a lot about Substack, more than I probably ever want to know. But I do see it as a viable alternative for those of us who want to follow some of the best in the world of genealogy. I got to tell you something quite frankly. I started thinking about Substack when I recognized that some of the very leading journalists, professional journalists, were leaving the New York Times or the Washington Post because of a change in, boy, I'm trying so hard to be politically correct, because of a change in the editorial policy of the owners of the company. And these are well-respected names who give an impartial view, not always denigrating one side or the other, but talking frankly. And that sort of thing is important to me. All right, back to our PowerPoint. And let's see what we've got. Again, just like from the producer's point of view, as we discussed on Monday, it's all about building community. One of the things that Facebook, for instance, was really good at doing was giving us groups where we could interact and make posts and help each other out, in this case, with our genealogy research. And I'm still learning how to use the tools that Substack has provided for that. But let me just mention, Substack is growing and changing even as we speak. 2 days ago, Substack instituted one-on-one direct messaging, which we would call private messaging over on the Facebook side. And as we are encountering problems on the Facebook side, and I don't mean to be bad about Facebook, I'm just letting you know that on Substack you will not find advertising. So those of you who want to get right in on following your favorite podcaster or following your favorite blogger, you're not going to be bombarded with all sorts of spam put there by the platform that you have signed up with. I see Substack as being available for individuals like you and me who want to learn from other people. I also see it as a place for genealogy societies to create a presence, create a link, create a QR code to share with their society members so that all their announcements can go out there. And amazingly, somehow, through the magic of technology, the people at Substack have figured out that if we want to view what we've subscribed to for free or for pay, I do for free, we actually get to see it. I know that when old Myrt publishes a post on my wall advertising some upcoming genealogy thing, out of everybody on Facebook that are my friends and the public, Facebook tells me about 123 people get to see it, unless I want to pay money to boost it. And I decline to do that because I don't have a revenue stream. And most of us don't. Most of us, our genealogy societies, don't have a huge advertising budget. All right, so here's what we're planning to do today. Excuse my coughing today. This is what that announcement looked like about direct messaging between one person and another. I like the low-tech view of it. Anyway, when you sign in, you will, for the first time since that announcement was posted, it'll be right there in your stream. I like that. Okay. So, of all the things that we are going to be talking about, publications come to mind for those of us who are followers of genealogy content producers, and collaboration. But there's some other terms that are specific to Substack. Man, Daniel, you're here. I see you're here. I'm glad that you are. Sounds like I'm croaking to death this morning. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to see all people here again for a second try.
Yes. All right. So we're going to actually go live, and we're going to set up, just as you would, a new account for Clarice Beaumont S. Clarice Beaumont is my profile in another platform where I have an avatar and everything else. It's called Second Life. But I had to pick an account that I have where it is not already involved with a Substack. So it'll be like you. Now, I noticed that Hillary, who is from North Wales, already is interacting on Substack, and she's saying she's getting responses to her first post over on Substack already and has gained more followers or free subscribers. Remember that Hillary's our gal in Wales, and she's on our Mondays with Myrt panel. Good morning to Cindy. Andrew says, hi from Huntington in the UK. Excited to hear about the other side of the Substack story. And Marie is here from Dickinson, and she's on Substack. And that's okay, Bobby, that you don't know much about Substack. That's what we're here to talk about. So do make your comments on the YouTube side, and Daniel and I will weave it into our presentation today. So when we go live, the first thing we're going to do is open a free account for Clarice Beaumont S. And I had to actually look up the password because I don't use that email very frequently. But I may be shortly, you never know. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is find some of our favorite authors. And I use that term authors because this slide is going to be filled up with a lot of words. But I'm basically talking about content producers or content curators. Okay, then we're going to talk about liking, commenting, restacking, and restacking with a comment. Remember, Hillary said she's already had comments or responses to her posts. It'll be interesting to know if they were comments or if her post was restacked or shared by her new followers. Another thing that we're going to look at is the question, I put a question mark there, of full access to posts. And this is something that Daniel spoke about on Monday. I asked him if I put a link to my post over on Substack, over on any of the social media platforms, will people be able to see it even if they don't have an account? And Daniel, your response was most interesting because it was absolutely right on. Please give it to us again.
So the way the Substack ecosystem works is you can still link to a blog post on Substack to any way you like. However, on some platforms, they're not necessarily as forgiving in terms of like actually showing it to your followers on whatever social media platform it is. However, you do not need an account to read a post on Substack. You can read it just through a link, unless the only reason you would need an account is to sign into Substack with your account is if you happen to have a paid subscription with a certain publication or a certain Substack that puts their content behind a paywall. Otherwise, you would be able to read it all for free.
Thank you. So that paid subscription is something that's keeping those journalists that left the New York Times and the Washington Post and other news outlets whose editorial point of view has changed dramatically. That's what's keeping them alive, is that they will put some of a post and lead you to, Substack has a perfect environment where you can read part of something, but you have to be a paid subscriber to view it. So instead of having my subscription to the newspaper, I might then pay whatever it is. Maybe it's I think it's $5 minimum per month to read one of my favorite authors that has moved off of the newspaper platform into Substack as a platform. Oh, we already have feedback from Hillary, who said one of the responses she got was a comment to which she's already replied, which is great. Substack makes it easy for us content providers to see that someone has commented on a post. Doesn't get buried. And that immediate response is something that our followers like, especially when they're posing a question. The others liked your post, and that's good. That increases the likelihood of it being seen on other platforms. Yeah. And let's see what she's got. Marie says, I'm wondering if there's a way to subscribe to the Substack accounts you want to read and only read them in the feed rather than get the email notifications. Do you want to answer that now? Let's do that. The answer is
yeah, the answer is yes. From what I'm seeing is, for example, there's one good old Reddit saves the day some days. But there is some, I suppose, advice from Substack's own website, which I will share now once this wants to work.
Okay, let me be ready to share your screen. Okay, yeah. And zoom in, I'm sure.
So we've got,
so there is
the actual help center thing was called, I subscribe to a Substack publication, but I'm not receiving any emails. But there are ones down here where they say check your settings on the Substack app. So in the Substack app, there is a setting where you can do prefer push, which essentially means that it's an indication. It works better if you have an account, because if you have an account with Substack and you have this Substack app, you will then have the option to decide whether you want to get more push notifications rather than email ones whenever there's a new post that releases.
Okay, so push notifications are come across our phone as a follower. And if you don't want the email, you can change your setting there. So yes, without going into a lot more detail, you can turn off the emails and have it pushed as a notification. You can also silence notification on your smartphone if you want to read everything online. So we have some options. It's really important. Marie is going to be happy because she likes the push, and she uses the desktop most of the time. Okay. All right. So give us a minute to do our demonstration, and then we'll take some more questions. All right. So full access to posts works perfectly fine if it's a free subscription. Full access might be limited if the author of that publication decided that on this post, as opposed to another one of their posts in their publication, is for subscribers only. It's an option when I am creating a post from scratch. But I always decide I want everybody to know whatever the heck old Myrt's saying. Okay, a few more things before we go live here. We're going to talk a little bit about the one-to-one direct messaging. And the fact that subscribe doesn't mean that you as a follower has to pay anything. Let me know if you want me to share your screen. I see you're doing some work over there, Daniel. Are you ready yet?
Yeah, I can.
You're doing your thing. Okay.
Pretty much.
I think we're ready for Myrt, the Clarice Beaumont person, to go online to Substack. So let me close this, and we will go to a new tab. This is Clarice Beaumont at Gmail, Beaumont S, and I'm going to go to Substack. Okay, and I have to be careful because it wanted me to log in as DearMYRTLE. It still wanted me to log in as DearMYRTLE. So I'm going to, can you see this okay?
Yes, that's all coming through fine.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to sign out. And let's say I got here because I was going to read this post from DearMYRTLE. I can sign in or create an account. I'm going to create an account. And we're, excusez-moi. First, they kind of want to know what you're interested in. And I put history, and that popped up some more options like ancient history or historical events or military. There's genealogy. Yes.
I did want to cut in here because I just as we were doing stuff, I'd only seen on Substack from Barbara at Project Kin. She posted 14 hours ago saying, so this evening I had occasion to log out of my Substack app and back in again on my phone, and I was presented with this opportunity to select my areas of interest. I may have skipped over this the first time. And she just said, look what I found. And then when you clicked on history, genealogy is actually now a topic on Substack that you can actually get into your feed now.
Yep. Oh, gosh. Now, Barbara at Project Kin, who is also one of our mentors, has lobbied hard and long with the powers that be. And she has some more inside connections than I'll ever have with the Substack powers that be. And she has been lobbying for genealogy to be a category. So this is late breaking news, only 14 hours old. Way cool. I'm putting military history because Mr. Myrt loves that. And I love sharing things with him. Cultural history, this is all part of getting the out of the 21st century mindset. Man, I'm having fun putting extra T's in the middle of my words today. Yeah. We want the historical context and understanding the historical events that may have impacted an ancestor are certainly things that we'd be interested in. Now, just for those of us that are content producers, those are keywords or tags that we should be using when we create a post. So it'll make it easy for Substack to share this information with people who are not yet our followers, like a suggestion. I mean, as opposed to music or fashion and beauty, although I do agree everything is all about looking good. Okay, so I picked those because I'm a genealogist. Biographies might be interesting. Anyway, you can always come back and changes, add, subtract, multiply, divide. And then I have things that I can follow and things that I can decide not to follow. These have nothing to do with anything that I'm pretty much interested in. So I'm going to leave Substack where you get a guide to writing, podcasting, and shows and seeing that shows what's happening on Substack. I think that means I want those suggestions in the categories I just picked, but I'm not going for specific people right now, like DearMYRTLE. Okay. Okay, now I have to sign in with my email address. So it's Clarice Beaumont s@gmail.com. I have to remember the S. Clarice, did I spell it right? Yep. And there's the com. I agree. And I'm joining. And I'm going to type my name. And I'm going to make that my handle. And I'm going to say crazy for genealogy and history topics. An ardent follower of @DearMYRTLE. That's pretty bad, isn't it, to do a plug right there? I only inserted that, folks, for comic relief during this presentation. Okay, I had to scroll down a bit because I've zoomed in so much so that you can view this. It's just this easy, though, to set up a Substack account. Didn't cost me any money. This is important, this next screen. So you don't have to go looking everywhere to find the Substack app for your Android or iOS device. And yes, the app works on an iPad. I've tried that. I'm currently using an iPhone 13. It's just fine. It's going to do all my ambush cams next week at Rootstack 2025. But anyway, I could actually send this link to me if my smartphone for some reason is in the other room. Daniel, I've had to learn to keep my smartphone here because every time I sign into something online, it's that two-part authentication thing where they send me a code and I've got to have it. But we'll just send the link there. Okay, just to show you what it's like. Let's assume you aren't doing a QR code. Okay. And we will continue. And now I can start reading. Well, start reading what? This is where we are doing the part of finding people we want to follow. So let's type in Project Ken. Proje, Project Ken. There's Barbara at Project Kin. Now she's got two things. She has a community area, like Dear Myrtle has Dear Myrtle's archive, where my publication is. And she's got Barbara at Project Kin, the profile. So there's a profile here and a publication. Okay, I think I want her publication. And good for her, she has 1.2 thousand subscribers. All right, I'm going to click on that. And what we're seeing now is pretty cool. But I haven't actually subscribed to it yet. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to zoom in even more. Okay, they have free events, and she is the admitted ringleader of the Project Kin forum, where they invent and refine ways to capture, preserve, and share family stories. Makes sense. So this, Daniel, is one of the places where you can subscribe for free. It's already automatically inserting my Clarice Beaumont email there. Didn't have to type it in. I like that. But you could opt out if you wanted to. Explore now, sign up later. But I'm going to subscribe. It's a safe site. Now, I could follow the 49 people. Let's see if we can look at them. Won't let me see them all. I don't know.
I think you're too zoomed in.
Oh, I'm too zoomed in? Okay.
Probably.
Well, I might be. Okay, there we are. So I could let's deselect, but we can go through the list. There's Mission Genealogy, Jane Chapman. Some of these people I'm already following. Some of them I haven't heard of. But right off the bat, these must be her, some of her profile people, not publications, that she follows. Genealogy for the rest of us. I love that. Now, I've been reading Carol. She's a Genia blogger and a YouTube creator. I would follow her. Some of these we know from the other platform. Okay, so I'm planning to follow those two people. I mean, there are others likely, I'm just saying, right? Now, let's look at the who are the three publications she's recommending. She's recommending on Substack, which I'm already subscribed to, as Clarice Beaumont. Here's Tyler's work as History Landing 1620, which is very intriguing. And accept, adapt, applaud. All right, I'm going to subscribe to History Landing. So I didn't have to take all 49 people if I didn't know who they were. But do you realize Barbara didn't have to automatically, she didn't have to manually set all this up. This is part of the mechanism that Substack gives us to help us become aware of who else is on the platform in the way of a content producer. So you don't have to call Bruce Busby and say, would you please join Substack so I can follow you? All right. So I've got one publication that I'm selecting. I could have done them all. I was just being selective, I guess. For example, to show that you could. All right, I'm going to click continue. And then there's this option to share or spread the word. This is part of our not being isolated. It's part of community building. We're going to click share. So if you wanted to tell people on another platform like Facebook or via email or any one of these others, Hacker News, that's intriguing, Pinterest, LinkedIn, you could click or merely copy this link and put it wherever you want. Let's say you found this place and you like Project Kin. That's a great example for how we can share a publication. But I'm going to zoom in a little again. I'm just going to click maybe later because I'm new to Substack as Clarice Beaumont. All right. So what it then does is take you to Project Kin's forum or their the publication. I like the idea of the word forum. We should probably tell DearMYRTLE about that word, shouldn't we? Okay. And this is her pinned post. This is the big thing that she's doing with people. Let me move this to a different screen. Where other Project Kin subscribers who are going live to RootsTech are planning to publish and do live video chats using the app on their phone. I'm not planning to do that. I'm going to do my ambush cams as usual. I think it's a marvelous initiative, but there are a lot of dead spaces at the Salt Palace, but I did provide some options for workarounds. Then here are individual posts. And this, Barbara does actually have a last name. Project Kin is not her last name, but we know her lovingly. Okay, and then among people that are members, not subscribers, but members, that means fellow authors, their work comes in here. So Carrie and Kevin and others that belong to this. And then here's some tutorials. So she's customized her page to include tutorials, Daniel. And here's some recent posts. Okay. Now, at the bottom of the screen, you're always going to find options to get the app or to start writing. But I don't want to do that yet. I've only signed up for one thing on Substack, right? Well, actually, the one she recommends. Daniel, let's have a talk. We gotta figure out how to react to the posts that Barbara has made in her Project Kin forum, the publication. And then we'll go looking for other folks that we haven't yet visited with, to whom we might wish to subscribe. And we will also talk about editing our profile, which is just like in most social media accounts. It's whatever the icon is in the upper right. And you see I kind of have a generic icon for Clarice Beaumont. Okay. Let's take this first post. Let's click to read it. Let's see. We're pretty familiar with likes or hearts. And I think what we're noticing is that that's very similar, isn't it, to other, it's a comfortable thing. These little icons to like something or to comment. Watch what happens when I click the comment button. It takes me to the bottom where I can make a comment, but I want to read. And here is where we can read about the whole process of what they're doing. To make it work, they have to be you have to view it through the subscription, and they want you to join Mission Genealogy. So this is another way that we can find kin, genealogy nuts, on Substack. So let's subscribe to Mission Genealogy. Oh, and it tells us who the authors are, Barbara and Robin Stewart. And I'm dying to meet Robin. I know Barbara's not coming in person. She's going to be managing this at home. And I'm going to continue and then subscribe to those people and add to the podcast app and continue and maybe later. So I went through the normal things and it took me to Mission Genealogy. But let's go back. Oops, that's my email. Daniel?
Yeah.
One of the things that Substack does very well from a producer's point of view is they make it easy for us to design forms to sign up for things or do polls, things like that. This makes it easy to share this post, and I would like to share this. Not too many people are going to pay attention to me because I don't have any followers over here, but that's what it looks like. Again, that sharing option. All right. What is this about? Talk to me about this icon.
So the best way I can put it is sort of in Twitter terms here. But restack or a restack with a comment is similar to Twitter's retweet and retweet with a comment or quote tweeting. So you can restack if you just want to instantly share the post with people who follow your profile on Substack, or you can repost it but add a comment or note on maybe what you liked, certain quote. It all depends on what you might want to say about it. And you can add in, a little comment. Now you can go a little, you can go a longer one. It's up to you. And I think you can add in, like it says at the bottom, you have a photo and a video part as well. So there are a variety of options for, I suppose, what you can include and what you can do with it.
Let me put true sense. All right. So I am planning to do what?
And actually, if you highlight a bit of text again, I forgot there was a little bit of a menu. So if you highlight,
just let me copy them.
Yeah, like that. So you can whether you want to make the text bold or italicize, strike through, code block, or put in a bit of code. That's what the
bulleted list.
Bulleted, numbered, quote. And adding a block quote, and I think a code block, I think, is the last one.
That's a technical thing. In other words, this is pretty dynamic commenting that we can do to express our opinion about something as a follower of Project Ken. We can also insert a graphic, lower left, or video response. Very dynamic use of technology. So I can just see old Myrt here. Most of the time I'm sitting here at my computer in my jammies. I'm not going to be making videos. I'm going to save the world by not making videos at that point. All right. So I've emphasized thank you, and I'm going to click that post. And this is my first note, and I could copy it. In other words, they're giving me lots of opportunities to share the good information I run across. Right now, I have no followers, so we're good. I'm not going to do that. I think I guess I have to click the X, the upper right-hand corner. Okay, so far, she's had 11 restack or restack with notes. That's what that's about. 8 people have commented. So if I wanted to comment, she's ordered this one to do it with the newest comment first. I did a post where it was the oldest comment first, so you could follow the train of thinking. And they're not doing any of that thing called the most important posts as determined by that social media platform. They're just giving it to you the way it was, newest first. Now, there's good reason for that publisher to have created by default that it's newest first. But if you want to follow the whole stream of comments in the order they were presented, to follow the line of thinking, which sometimes helps when people are have posed a question, a research question, and people are following along and giving additional clues. At least things aren't blocked. Top first would be those that have been liked, but I'm going to change it to oldest first. Remember, the default, when I view it as a follower, was set for this post by the author, Barbara at Project Kin. But I can override that and make it oldest first if that's what I like. Or move it back. Okay, we have a lot of power as a follower. A lot of power and resources available to us. Here somebody has inserted, oh, that's Barbara. Yeah, inserted a hyperlink. There are places where that's not allowed. Again, start writing or get the app for your phone. Okay, where are we? Let me see what questions we've got. Okay, so Marie, we're going to come back to your question about, well, we better handle it now. When I tried to turn off the emails, it asked if I was sure I wanted to unsubscribe, which I don't want to do. I have done this and encountered that, and thank you for reminding me. I tested it because I am in a testing mode and found that I was still subscribed to the person. I could view it online. It was only that one sample, and I was only looking at it online. What you're doing is unsubscribing from the email. Be sure you tell it you prefer push.
I did also want to pop in here. Actually, this would be a time to exhibit this. So, yeah. Myrt, if you would click on your persona's profile picture there, yes, and then click on manage subscription. Now, yes, this is applicable to anyone who. So the main thing here is to go into the specific publication you might want to change this for. So, for example, you can turn off what ones you want to get no emails for. So you can choose whether you want to turn it off for maybe, like, for example, say if I want to get it for the main one, which is Project and Community Forum, but I might not want to hear about, for example, recipes. I can turn off the little slider for any emails relating to recipes. Now, you can turn all of that off, but this does not unsubscribe you from the publication, because if you scroll down a little more, right at the end of this, obviously with Barbara, she has a lot of sections, so that's why you're getting all of these. But you can see that big red button that says unsubscribe. As long as you don't press that, you will still be subscribed to the publication. You just won't get new emails about it.
Okay. Excellent. And the use of a red button by default means warning. You may not want to push this button. Gives you a chance there to think. So they gave us the option, but we're giving it a deeper understanding. Thank you so much, Marie, for bringing that up. Okay, so let's see. There's another one here. Betty Lou says, if I want to use Substack on my iPad and laptop, would I download the app to your iPad? Okay, so on your iPad, you can use your web browser and go look at it on your iPad, because iPad does have a web browser already pre-installed. But there are things like the pop-up notifications that come through the iPad and the smartphone that you would miss. On your laptop, I mean, I go seamlessly between, if I see something on my phone as a pop-up notification, and I know I want to spend more time doing it and looking at the other comments and follow along, I'll keep that in the back of my mind, walk to my office here, and then view it online. So I'm in the context of other things. It's a lot easier for me with multiple monitors to go find a link to share to answer the question for that person about what is that website that tells us that how much $4 was in 1853 compared to $4 in 2025. I mean, I don't remember that off the top of my head. Yes, I can do that on my phone, but it's a lot easier. So the app, it used to be apps were only for our phones, but but on our computers, we're doing the web browser, go to the website. Okay. Hillary says she has the app on her tablet, so yes. Yes, you can get the app at the App Store for your type of device. But remember, at the bottom of almost every post, everywhere I go on Substack, it gives you that option. And let me scroll down on the one we're looking. Start writing. Start writing or get the app. So if I were viewing SUBSTACK.com, having logged in as Clarice Beaumont S at Gmail, and I could get the app. By clicking there, it would take me to the right place. Okay. Now, where are we? Okay. Excellent, excellent information. I like looking at it this way. From my profile page to manage subscription, as opposed to going to an individual publication, because they're all right here on this list. So thank you for showing me that. Okay, any other questions? Do you get a notice from Substack when someone comments or replies to your post? Yes.
Simple answer is yes to that one. You do. You can choose whether to, again, the handy thing about having the app on the phone is you're able to sort of respond to people directly from the app, but you can also have it set to receive email notifications for whenever anyone likes your post, comments on it, or anything like that, or mentions you in a post. You can have that set up too. It's entirely up to you what you do want to have.
Yes, but that's from that's viewing it from a producer's point of view, and I've turned that off for this reason. I already get about 700 Dear Myrtle emails a day, not counting the ones from MyHeritage or Ancestry asking or whatever, asking me to try this new feature before it goes live. And I can't possibly read them all. I basically look at the topic or the subject line. So if I am in the ferry line going to a doctor's appointment with Mr. Myrt, I don't want 700 pop-up notifications that people liked my post. I hope they like my post. So it isn't like Betty Lou or whoever asked that, Bobby, was one of those wonderful people with the name starting with the letter B. It isn't like I don't want to know that you liked a post I did, that I published. It's that sometimes we have to do this thing and not do the Substack thing. So I notice I get stats every day on subscribers and the lines going up and reactions. And I look at that every day when I get up and log into my computer, because then I have time to concentrate on it. And I will go to that post. It's easy for me as a publisher, or a producer, as opposed to a follower, for me to go look at that. So I do get the notice. I don't get them in such abundance from another platform. Okay, how's that? All right, what are we up to on our PowerPoint? Are we ready to now? We've at least taught them how to find project kin, and that would not be impossibly hard for them to learn to find DearMYRTLE or anyone else. For instance, the photo detective's over here. Daniel's over here. Michael John Neal is over here. So if you like the genealogy tip of the day, let me log back into Substack, and we will be modifying my profile with your help. And Daniel, I need a lot of help here.
That I can do.
I know you can. All right, let me log in, and here we are. Let's see if it remembered that I was Clarice. I don't know. Oh, criminy. All righty. All right, sorry guys. In this daylight, I can't quite see what I'm looking at here. All right. It's just too bright. So let me share my screen for a minute. There we go. Okay, it's remembering me, the generic profile person. And we're getting ready now. Oh, see, I'm getting interesting things in my feed, aren't I? That are featured. All right, this is my profile. What shall I do, Daniel, to get my profile going?
So to go to your profile, you've clicked on a drop down. So just click on where you have Clarice Beaumont as the name and the handle.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where your profile is. So if you click edit profile, you'll be able to alter your, I suppose, if you wanted to add a profile picture at the top, if you wanted to change the display name you have.
Okay.
Then you have the bio if you wanted to add that in, if you didn't when you set it up. But additionally, you are able to link to other platforms. So if you have a YouTube profile, a Facebook profile, you can stick the links into those. And when people go and view your...
Okay, I didn't want to do that one. Sorry, I clicked on something. Yeah. So I could add my social links.
Yes. And if you just want to go to mine, you can see how that all kind of looks once you have them filled in.
All right, let me pull you up. We're looking at your screen share.
Oh, yeah, that was for Betty Lou. I was just going to say, if you're on the Apple Store, that is the app that you were looking for with that icon.
That icon. Yeah.
And okay, so say if I'm on my profile, the links that I was on about to the social apps, when you click on this, it expands and it gives you all the places that I'm on. And it'll take you directly to them if you click on one of them. Yes.
Okay, that's where it shows up.
And if you happen to be, obviously that's right in front of you.
Zoom in.
And that would, yes, that's a good point. Okay. There. So you can see what Substacks I am subscribed to. So I'm subscribed to 14 currently. And you can see which ones I have. And then You can click into them and see, if you want to check out a page or look at the posts or anything like that. So that's handy for that. Let's see.
Okay.
If you wanted to make a note, which is what Myrt had done when she was sharing Project Kin's blog post earlier, you can press the little plus button, and this also shows up on the app. And you can press note, which is then it asks what's on your mind, which we see often enough on other platforms, asking what's on your mind and for you to vent. I'm kidding there. And you can choose to add in an image, add in a video, and then post it, or you can insert a link. If it is, for example, a Substack post, you can copy a link, and it doesn't have to be a Substack post. It can be literally anything. And then paste it in. If it's on Substack, it adds this little embed. And then you can obviously click it on this because this is, you're editing your note. But this whole image and tagline here will be active when you post it. And
they're letting you have the preview of it.
Yes. But for example, say if I was on, I don't think it'll work. Oh, no, it's a blog post. I pressed the wrong button. So for example, I don't think it's actually going to work if I try it, but I will give it a go. Let's just say if I added in a website link here, I don't think it adds an embed if it's not a Substack. Oh, no, it does. Okay, so it does add a little embed if it is a link. So, for example, a link to my
and a little
website.
Graphic. That's better than what I'm...
site icon.
Yeah, that's good. It's a little more... So we're not going to, as readers or followers or listeners or viewers of content on Substack, if we decide to make a note or a post on Substack and publish it, and it has a URL in it, we don't get dinged for it.
No.
It's open and we are happy. All right. Let me share my screen again. And I want to talk about what confused me at first. Okay. When I first went here as a beginning follower, and I knew I was going to follow a Barbara at Project Kin, and I'd set up my account. It looked like, as I'm going down the list, youtube.com, it looks like I have an account there, youtube.com, but that's just to give you an example of what it would look like. It's a placeholder as opposed to just an empty field. So when you go to my account, let's go look at my account. Back one. I don't have any links here underneath my name to the left of my handle, like Daniel does, because I haven't put any social media accounts there. I should do one for Second Life. Anyway, going back to edit profile, that was one. I mean, I could understand adjusting my name and things along that line in my silly little bio. And then when I got to the reads part, this is another way where people can see, that if they follow me, they know that I like these people. Well, on this account, what if I had made this account and it was just for quilting? Or what if it's on my DearMYRTLE account where I do both, where I have quilting topics and I made a new publication by myself, Daniel, for quilting.
Going.
Yeah, for Genia Quilters. We have an active group on Facebook, and I'm trying to see how to make that happen over here. this is one of the ways. But if I didn't want you to know that I was following somebody, I could turn it off. I would still be following that particular publication or profile. You just wouldn't see it, Daniel, if you came to my Clarice Beaumont account to see what I have been reading. I also can turn off whether or not you see that I like something. I still get to like things for that author or that person or that podcaster because I like the content. Oh, and I love Hillary. Over on YouTube, remember to like this video. Thank you. It helps my rankings over there. I appreciate it. Subscribe. Anyway, so we have more controls as a follower or a consumer or a reader or listener or viewer of content that's being produced over here. Okay. I was trying to find a graphic to replace this. And what else did you want to talk about in this regard? Our time is just about up. Good golly. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't want to do the Dear Myrtle thing. Let's just put Myrt's picture there, my real picture. I probably should put, since it's the name of my Second Life profile, I probably should put that avatar picture here. I just can't find it right off the bat. All right, let's refresh the page. And now you see that my profile picture does in fact show up. For a long time, okay, I'm going to say 2 sentences. Yeah, the graphic of my avatar definitely belongs there. I just can't find it quickly. You know the pressure of being on stage. All right. So what I believe is that as followers of genealogy content producers, creators, videographers, writers, podcasters, we can follow their presence on Substack. It is not hard. I went for days before I even thought of putting my Dear Myrtle, picture up there on my profile. And we've kind of shown them how robust the tools are for responding or commenting or sharing or stacking with comment, which I recommend over just restacking. Restacking with comment is really important. That means move this over there so your followers can see it. I think we've done a good job with that. And I think Substack, yeah. Any other questions? We're not seeing any from the community. I fiddled around for a long time in January, just looking at genealogy content producers. I did a few likes, but I didn't want to do too much because I wasn't committed to the Substack as a viable alternative. I've now changed my mind. I think that it is a very viable resource, a great alternative. They don't think of themselves as a social media platform. They think of it, Substack thinks of itself as a place for writers and producers of content. Okay, Melinda, I have to thank you. I was shocked. Daniel will tell you, I was shocked when I was fiddling around in preparation for Monday's webinar that you had pledged as a founding supporter of Dear Myrtle, and I want to thank you publicly for that. I don't know what to do with that pledge yet. I still have to learn how to do that as a producer, but we're getting there. All right. And Hillary's saying, I've been a follower for a while. And I hope that as Hillary and I and Melinda and others who are experimenting with Substack, I hope that you will take our suggestions when you subscribe to us. Look over those suggestions as carefully as old Myrt did. And pick and choose the ones that interest you. All right, Daniel, tell me what I missed, and then we'll call it a day.
I don't think you did miss much, to be honest. I think you practically got everything.
So it's time for the hot chocolate and cookies, right? Hillary just subscribed to you, Melinda. So you, as a person, any notes or posts that you make, you don't have to have a big publication forum like Project Kin or Dear Myrtle. People who follow you, like Hillary, can see what you're doing. You could see on, Daniel showed you on my Dear Myrtle, that it, or my Clarice Beaumont, that I had only restacked with a comment, but it shows up on my page as something I was interested in. On my page, I should call it a stack, shouldn't I? My profile stack.
On your profile, you can just call it a profile. If it's an actual, if you're talking about your blog or the publication, either a Substack or a publication are totally acceptable terms.
Okay, and Hillary said she's just subscribed to some historians. I am so thrilled that genealogy is now a category. That is very good to hear that. And the more of us that are on Substack that now go in and change that as a preference, that will increase the reaction that Substack has for supporting genealogy. All right, I'm going to tell you one thing. And I'm not meaning to end on a sad note. I'm not. When I first came to Substack as just an observer, I wasn't restacking. I was just reading whatever came up. And this was 2 years ago. There was a strong Nazi contingent of posters, of profiles. And I immediately left, because I didn't want to have anything to do with that. Now I haven't seen any evidence of it. I know that Substack has stated that they're not going to edit our work, but I'm not finding that problem nowadays. Hillary, I had to click on history. She's saying, I can't find genealogy to change your interest. Click on history, and remember, then it added all those other subtopics under history. And that's where I found genealogy. Like cooking, they don't have, Italian cooking, keto-free cooking, until you click on cooking. Then those subtopics come up. And we are certainly a subtopic of history. Makes sense. All right. So believe me, since October, when we first started in October 2023, where people were talking about Substack, and the first one or two of those very professional journalists who were moving from once very prestigious newspapers, they were coming over, and I started giving Substack another look. Since October, I have had no problems encountering anything like Nazism. And given these added tools for building a sense of community through publication forums like Project Kin or Dear Myrtle's archive, I think I ought to change the name of it, but we'll figure it out. Given those tools that have been provided to us by Substack, like on Facebook, we don't have to join a group about fly fishing if we're not into fly fishing. We search for what is our interest. Anything else, Daniel? Nope. We're good?
I think you have everything. I think you do.
Okay. So Hillary's going to try that on the app. I am so encouraged by the things I've learned about Substack. And I am ready to make an announcement that, wouldn't that be interesting, that effective April Fool's Day, April 1st, okay, I'm making a sticky note, I will cease using the Dear Myrtle forum, the group on Facebook. I'm writing it down, April 1st. What I will do for that group is give them posts every week saying this is where I've moved. I will still keep the forum open. I will not allow anyone else to post in the forum. I will still keep my Pat Richley Erickson profile because it is Facebook/DearMyrtle. I want to protect my name. Same thing on other social media platforms. Just because I have a name there doesn't mean I'm curating or producing content there. This is a big deal. I did not arrive at this conclusion quickly. And I would not steer you to a dangerous place or a difficult place. I mean, I hang out with some pretty techie people that Cousin Russ introduced me to, and about 30% of what they talk about is like way over my head. Sir Michael Daniels is a lot of fun with game night, but I don't do the things he does. We're friends. This is the safe place to go. And if it is not a safe place to go, I'll eat my hat. How's that? All right. Hey, folks, thank you to Daniel for being here, for explaining things, for hanging out with us and being patient with old Myrt here. Thank you to those of you who've shown up today. And I look forward to seeing you over on Substack. Nothing left to say, but happy family tree climbing, everybody. That's a wrap.